Hey guys, welcome into today's video. Today is going to be kind of like a, I don't know, get ready with me testing new makeup. It's the weekend for me today, so this may not go up until like the middle of the week. This is me with my coffee here, just getting ready for the day. I do have some chores to do, some errands to run. I wanted to just play with or put on and test out the new makeup that I purchased. So I did put on my eyebrows because I don't have a new eyebrow pencil. I just used the Brow Harmony in Rich Taupe from Rare Beauty. I've been enjoying this. It's a little bit dark, I think, in Rich Taupe, but it's okay. It works. It matches my hair color. But yeah, what's on today's agenda? The BOBBI BROWN Pot Rouge for lips and cheeks. So this is a cream cheek product. I'm really excited for this. It is very small when it came, but you know, I like the cream potted blushes right now. That's just my kind of thing. And I also picked up one of the BOBBI BROWN lip tints that just launched. This one's in Bare Melon. So I'm excited for that. And also, you guys, I think this is probably gonna be like my favorite thing maybe on today's agenda is that I picked up two of the MAC release eyeshadows, like the new releases, and I have only ever tried one MAC eyeshadow. It was one of their like single potted eyeshadows. It was super long ago. I never even used it that much because it was a pretty deep shade. So I'm definitely excited to try the MAC eyeshadow formula. I'm only gonna get to try one today, so we'll pick one. Stay tuned because I will definitely test the other one on camera. But I'm sure they're gonna be the same formula, but I do wanna probably pick the big one today, at least do one in today's video. I also picked up the new Real Flawless Luminous Perfecting Pressed Powder from Mercier. I'm actually really excited because I love pressed powders, and the loose powder formula in like the Mercier powder was a little bit like too heavy, and I prefer loose powder because I feel like I can kind of control it a little bit better. I just like the way that it looks on my skin a little bit more. I like to just, I don't know, it's easier for me to kind of press it into the skin, so I'm excited to try this. Actually really excited to try this. And then Ardell and Sephora had a collaboration and they put out some lashes. These are the natural, I guess, and they're the Sephora exclusive. These look super long, but I've really been into lashes lately. Yeah, luxuriously lightweight with Invisiband, and these are Faux Mink. So I don't know if you're interested in lashes, but I wanted to try these in today's video. I'm definitely gonna have to cut these down because they are super long, but we'll see how those look because I am rolling around today outdoors where people are gonna see me. This is not new, but this is new to me, and someone in my comments actually suggested that I try this. This is the PURITO Cica Clearing BB Balm. I did try this once already. It was in my last video. This is a K-beauty brand. I did pick this up on Amazon, but somebody had mentioned that this is really good foundation and that I should try it, or a BB cream. So I did try this, and so far I absolutely love this. So I am going to put this on today. We'll put it on camera, but I think that's it. So let's just hop right into it. I think we'll start with the eyeshadows first. I know MAC had a lot of different color stories that they launched. I picked up the big one in Future Flame. I believe they had several in like the large palettes and then several in the small size. This one was the 12 pan palette. I'm like really excited to test new eyeshadow formulas all the time. I don't think that like flame for me has died, but I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I'm gonna be blown away. This is my kind of color story though. Like it's definitely a fiery one, and I like that it has like a light shimmer in it, like to complement, I don't know, hooded eyes. I think that looks really nice. Big full-size mirror in here. So I think that we'll start with this. Let's just take a look at this other one that's embedded in Burgundy. I don't know, maybe I want to do this one instead. Now I'm like rethinking my decisions. The packaging is super cute. I've seen comments that people say like, you know, 90% of what MAC is is the packaging. Maybe the quality isn't so good, but I'm gonna test the formula for myself. So this is actually like the cooler toned palette of the two that I picked up, and this is more of the warmer tones. So this looks like a super smoky, delightful little guy. What am I going for today? We're gonna go with the bigger one, and I'm gonna try and test as many shades as I can here, simply because I am just getting ready and I bet we'll run out of time if I'm not careful. I also forgot to mention that I picked up one of the Shade Slick Gelées, the tinted lip oils from Merit. I did try this already. I think that I'm just gonna throw it on because I'm gonna keep the BOBBI BROWN one on, but I think I'm gonna do a roundup of like all of my lip oils in an upcoming video, just because I've gotten so many. They're really popular now. I can tell you that this is not my favorite formula from Merit. It has a very gelée, like it says, texture, but it's super duper thin. It has a very small like doe foot applicator. I don't find that this really has any color, even though this is in the shade Jete or Jete, I guess. It's Jete. So I'll just throw this on. It's very uncommon to have like a thin doe foot applicator, I think, and a lot of lip oils are coming out with the big ones, but it doesn't bother me. I have pretty small lips anyway. I just don't know that it's like super hydrating, and it wears off really, really fast. So aside from that, it's nice, but I don't know. I guess I kind of want it to stay a little bit longer or to be a little bit more hydrating. So far it's kind of a high price point. For the sake of not moving, I'm just gonna prime my eyes with the Flower Beauty concealer. I'm gonna do a dot on each eye. I love this, you guys. This is in the shade Vanilla. I literally keep using it and keep going, man, it really is a really good product. It's pretty high coverage. I'd say it's medium high, but it never creases. For like as high coverage as it is, it's very uncommon for it to be as hydrating a formula as I'm finding it to be. And it never dries out throughout the day. Like it stays hydrating, and it just makes my under eyes look really good, which is so unusual for a high coverage concealer. Every time I put it on, I just think, oh gosh, you know, it's gonna be too dry for me. And it isn't. It never has, not once. So I'm loving it. Let's just set my eyes. I'm gonna set it with the Laura Mercier, the Real Flawless Luminous Perfecting Pressed Powder. Let's actually swatch this first. This is in the shade Translucent. Not at all what I was expecting from the compact. It's square and it's really boxy. It's very thick. It has a button that you like depress to open it. I don't know, not exactly what I was expecting. Large mirror in there. It's in a dome shape. It's kind of on the yellow side, to be honest. Ignore this. This was me like warming up the brow pencil, but it almost kind of looks like it's on the yellowish side. I don't know, that didn't feel the smoothest. We'll see how it looks when I set my whole face with it. But I'm just gonna set my eyes really quickly with this little puffy that I have from like Rude Cosmetics and from the Mentos collection. By the way, these are actually really nice and thick, and I do enjoy them. They're better than like the cheap ones that I got off of Amazon. I mean, they're not revolutionary or anything, but they are pretty thick. Okay, I'm looking at the colors. I'm gonna pull in some oranges for sure, but I wanna mix the orange and like the burgundies. So I'm gonna take this as a transition shade. I'm gonna bring in this orange in the crease. I'm gonna deepen it with this burgundy out here. And I'm probably even gonna use like the shade over here in the like lower part of my lid on the outer corner. I'm gonna put this in the center and then this one like all the way in the inner corner of the lid. And that'll get me a good number of shades. I would say this is like a warmer toned transition shade. And we'll see how it blends on top of this concealer. Right away, I'm thinking good pigment and blendable. I can usually tell within like the first couple of swipes. That may seem weird, but I don't know. When you test so many different eyeshadows, like the first, like this, and that's about all I need to kind of go, okay, it's gonna lay nicely. I won't know, of course, how long lasting this is. I'm always looking for a long lasting formula, but blendability is such a big deal. Sometimes I use shades that just don't like each other. They just don't seem to blend into one another very well. And the ones that do, those are my favorite eye looks. By the way, I'm just using my Rude Cosmetics and Mentos brush set. I have tried these on camera. You guys will link that video above, but yeah, it's not like a collection that a lot of people were dying for or even knew that came out, but I wanted to try Rude Cosmetics, and when they had that collection, it looked like a fun spring collection, so I wanted to give it a shot. But honestly, it came with like more brushes and applicators than it did makeup, and I was thoroughly enjoying everything. Like there's a whole brush set of the 5 brushes that I would use for my eyes, so I keep using these over and over. I love this palette so far. I'm gonna pull in this like orange shade now. This one actually pulled really orange, so I'm assuming this is gonna be like a bright punchy orange. And I'm just gonna go into the crease. I just want a little bit of dimension. I think these shades are pretty similar to one another, so I don't know how much I'm gonna get. That one that I pulled in the bottom row that was more like brown, it honestly is pulling super warm, super orange. It's not exactly true to what's in the pan, unfortunately. and this one is much more, but they're very similar colors. So yeah, pulled this one in on the transition and it was very orange. This one looks like what this one looks like, but the one in the corner here is much more true to like the actual shade when you're looking in the pan. So yeah, not a whole lot of like depth. Okay, now I am going to pull this burgundy shade here into the crease and like just into the crease a little bit and then into the outer corner. I am gonna deepen it up with that like more purpley shade. This one's really pigmented, so I have to want this right where I put it. Okay, that was the shade that was like the test of shades because I thoroughly enjoyed that. It blended really easily, it packed really easily, and it blended with the other two shades without going into nothing. Because when I start to like diffuse these two colors together, sometimes I just find like it either travels too far or it just starts to blend away into nothingville, and then I get really disappointed because it's just not playing nicely with the other shades. It's not a blendable shade, and usually these deepening shades I'm holding to a like higher standard, I think, because I want them to really blend nicely in my outer corner. Like I count on these shades being the ones that I use to create depth. So yeah, I kind of hold them to a little bit of a higher standard than some of the like lighter shades that I would use for a transition. But this one, super beautiful, super pigmented shade. Okay, now I'm gonna take this shade right here and deepen up the outer corner, but on the bottom part without going like above the crease. This one is really pigmented, but it's like buildable pigmented. Like it's not scary. You can kind of diffuse it out. I think so far the quality of these is just really good is kind of what I'm getting at. I want to swatch two of these shades because I'm not sure which one I want to use. There's this one right here, which looks more like a satin. Like it's definitely a shimmer, but it's a lighter shimmer. It's not like a metallic or anything. Let's go ahead and swatch this one. Really pretty. But then I was eyeing this one, and this is more like metallic. It definitely has like more shimmer in it. Actually, this one right here has straight up glitters in it. So I don't know, and it's more orange than it is red when you're looking at it up close anyway, which is so interesting because I would feel like this one would pull more orange. I think I'm gonna pull this one in right here and just use my finger to kind of go in the middle of the lid. And then this one right here is gonna go in the inner part of my lid. I love me a light shimmer in the inner corner. So I actually used 6 of the 12 shades, which is not bad. Every one of them performed really well. So far I actually think this is tremendous quality. It's gonna be like, I mean, the test really will be like how long do the shadows last me throughout the day. I like me a pigmented kind of long lasting shadow. But so far, I mean, everything really performed well. Everything was like as I would hope it would be. The only thing was this one shade down here was super warm on my fair skin and much more warm than I anticipated it pulling just from the looks of it in the pan. But I love the gradient, and if I didn't mention this, I love warm tone shadows. So anyway, Future Flame, I think the color story matches the name of the palette really well, and I liked the quality. So I have nothing negative to say about that. So before we go into the lower lash line, let's test this PURITO Cica Clearing BB Cream. I have mine in the shade number 13, Neutral Ivory. This is like a thicker consistency, I noticed. It's almost whipped. I could tell that like a little bit of product went a really long way. It's kind of a thick, like textured BB cream. I was expecting it to be much more thin, and that's not the case. I can't read any of like the ingredients because it is in Korean, but I can see that this product is vegan. It says healthy looking glow, flawless coverage, EO and fragrance free, but I can smell sunscreen in it. So it does have an SPF. I noticed that like last time I picked up a lot more off of my hand because it went so far. I'm trying to go in with a little bit lighter amount of coverage, a little bit less. This can be pretty full coverage foundation. I built it up and I was like, wow, really, really good coverage. I don't want to go that heavy today though, because I don't usually when I'm just running errands. I don't want it to be super noticeable that I'm wearing foundation, or I don't want it to seem like I'm wearing a heavy foundation. I think that's probably all I'm gonna put on. It does have like a really healthy glow, but it's easily mattified. I'm gonna go into the Flower Beauty Concealer. This is another product that goes a really long way. Like, you don't need a lot for it to travel a pretty good distance. In fact, I sometimes have to be a little bit careful how much I use of this concealer, because it's not thin, it's also like pretty thick, pretty textured concealer. But for whatever reason, it's still very hydrating, very full coverage. It's kind of an anomaly in my collection. I don't get that many that still stay like kind of radiant but full coverage, but that are thick. So yeah, anyway, I think this is a great concealer. I've said that many times on my channel. Let's move on into this powder. We are going to set with the Laura Mercier. Like I said, super thrilled that she's come out with the pressed powder, because I'm just so into pressed powders these days. I mean, look at that. It immediately mattified, but also like airbrushed, like, and smoothed out my skin. Everything that I would want it to do. There goes the radiance. It's gorgeous. Like, this is a nice looking powder. It's very finely milled. Look how airbrushed. If you've watched any of my other videos, I do have dry skin. I am 38 years old. Powders and me, they don't always play nicely. I do not have a new bronzer, so since I already pulled in my Rare Beauty Brow Harmony, I'm just gonna use the new shade in her stick, which is Bright Side. This is the new like cooler toned version of her sticks. I'm just gonna draw it down here. I'm gonna dot it on. I was doing it where I was drawing it all over, and then I kind of realized that it was too much product. And then I saw her do a video, I don't know, it was probably on Instagram or something, where she just dotted this on, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that. And then I did, and I was like, yeah, that's the right amount of product. So that's what I've been doing with this stick. Instead of like drawing a line, just dotting it, and it's been working really good. I do love this formula, have loved this formula, but really honestly, like, I love the fact that she keyed in on expanding her range for cool tones instead of just kind of neutral, which had a bit of warmth in it. Let's move on into this cream blush. I'm so excited. This is the Pot Rouge for lips and cheeks. This is in the shade Calypso Coral. If you've also watched any of my other videos, you do know that coral and peachy blushes right now are like my thing. See how small it is? The formula feels like almost like the cream blush lights from Melt, maybe not as emollient. This one has a stick to it. It's not, let me, if you can kind of see like inside the pan, it's not like a melting balm or anything. It's a stiffer formula. I don't think this is a cream to powder finish. I think this has a little bit of tack and like radiance to it. So that's what you can expect from it. Let's go in with just a flat, it's fluffy, but it's a flat brush. I'm done. I keep doing this. Okay, 2 taps, both cheeks, good to go. Ooh, beautiful shade. Beautiful. Easy to blend, easy to apply. Look at that. You guys, am I done? I'm done. I'm basically done, right? I'm not editing any of this. I'm done. Just blend this one a little bit more. You know, the more you stamp this in, like, it definitely looks airbrushing, but I can still see like the radiance in it. Can you guys see? It has a little bit of radiance. I wasn't expecting this to like be a bad product or anything, and I love this shade. Like, I think that I've been testing some corals lately that are pulling too pink. I think this one pulls actually coral. It looks more on the peach side. I love this kind of shade of coral, this undertone, like it's perfect. This is beautiful. This is a really, really nice formulated product. Let's go into these lashes now. I'm definitely gonna have to chop these down, but I usually use like half lashes to cover my whole eye. I have used Ardell lashes before, like I'm just now getting into lashes, but I have to say like they're not my absolute favorite. So far, my favorite have probably been like the Lily lashes. I hate to say that because they're a little bit more on the expensive side. These did retail, I believe, for $14. So they were like decently priced if they're the kind that, you know, you can actually get like 4 or 5 uses out of. So yeah, these are just too long. Let me cut them down on both ends. I always, when I cut my lashes, take off both sides. I don't just take off one side. Like I will take off one from the short end and then one from like the thicker end. The trick for me is always getting them even. I am gonna use this duo lash glue that it comes with, but I have to tell you, I've tried the duo glue and it's my least favorite glue of all the ones that I've tried. I don't know, something about it, it just doesn't stick to my darn eye. It's just not as sticky of a formula as some of the other ones. I don't know if I'm gonna love this. This is the brush on adhesive with vitamins in clear. This lash glue is already making me upset. It's just not as tacky as I like. I have really thin lids. Like at 38 years old, I just feel like they get thinner. And so like, I need something that's, I don't know, like a little bit more grippy, a little bit more tacky. Okay, that worked a little bit better than the other duo lash glue. I like the band. It's actually not too thin. Because I don't take it all the way in, I do have to use my liner to fill in right here. This is just my Sephora one. This is the waterproof colorful Wink It liner, felt liner. I am obsessed with Sephora eye pencils and liquid liners. Like honestly, they're like my go-to. I literally can't stop reaching for them. They just, I don't know, they're matte, they're like waterproof, they go on so easily, they're super duper creamy, they're long lasting, they're pretty inexpensive so far right now. Like they're the ones that I grab for the absolute most. I'm going to fill in my waterline up here to eliminate like the space between my lashes and my normal lashes. I think these are actually beautiful. When I was looking at them, I thought that they would be like much too long in length, but I don't think that's the case. I think they're actually like normal for what lashes I typically wear. And I'm gonna just go ahead and throw this one off camera, and then we're gonna come back, we're gonna try the lip tint, and then we are done. Okay, let's go into this extra lip tint from Bobbi Brown. I finished up my lashes and like, I can definitely tell they're longer now that I'm like looking at them than some of the ones that I normally wear, but I actually really like these. They were a really in between thinned and thick band. Like I didn't have to go with a really thick inner wing or inner line with the liner to like make them look even. They're very lightweight, like they don't feel too heavy. So I've been going through lashes kind of like this lately, just like been trying to find the ones that are my preference and see what kind of like band I like and what brands I like the best. And I don't think Ardell has like stuck out to me, definitely, in some of the ones that I've been trying, but I think that these are really good. Of course, I picked natural because that's kind of what I've been going for, is just the natural. So anyway, here is the packaging of this. This is in Bare Melon. This is supposed to be a lip tint, but it's more like, I don't know what this is. Like it has a little bit of a shade to it, like a little bit of pigment. And not a lot though. Huh. Kind of underwhelming. Yeah, I don't know what's lip tint about this. It's a super light, like almost gloss. That's what this is. Okay, let's talk about everything that I put on my face today. This, you guys, is fast becoming super good BB cream, affordable K-beauty brand that I absolutely love. It's glowy, but like it offers a really good amount of coverage and can easily be set with powder. So far with the 2 powders that I put on top of it, it looks really good without drying it out. Like it holds its moisture and it's not sinking into any of my fine lines. So you guys, I think you should check this out, honestly, if you're into like, I don't know, stuff that works really well for people with dry skin or just K-beauty in general. The eyeshadow palette, where did the big one go? Here it is. I thought that this was really good quality. I created a fiery look. I'm really obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with these kinds of colors. I think MAC did a really good job with the formulation. They came out with a ton of different color stories. So if you're not into warm tones or fiery looks, you guys can pick like from a variety of different ones. I will list in the description box like how many palettes they come out with, because I think there were like 6 each, maybe 3 of these ones and like 6 of these. I'm not really sure, but there were a lot to choose from. And I just picked one from the larger pan or larger palette, smaller palette, that sort of thing. So I got 1 cool tone, 1 warm tone. super good quality, super good quality. They work well with each other. That's my biggest thing. Are you blendable? Are you pigmented the way that I expect you to be? And are you gonna play nicely with each other? So it did. I'm really glad that I picked this up. This lip oil from Merit is the least oily lip oil that I have in my collection. So I don't know if that tells you anything. There's not a lot of pigment to it. I don't know. I mean, it's not that long lasting. Like by the time I put on the Bobbi Brown lip tint, I didn't take it off or anything. What was still left on my lips was from like the 35 minutes of filming that I've done up here. So it's not super long lasting. I honestly think this is getting good reviews, but I think it's a pass. Like if I had known that it was like that, I probably wouldn't have picked it up to add it to my collection. One that I am glad that I added to my collection is this powder. I thought it was so blurring. I love pressed powders. I'm so glad that Laura Mercier came out with a pressed powder. I don't even need the loose powder. I don't even use it. Like I said, it goes into the back of my drawer. Pressed powders are my jam. I just love pressed powders. And I thought that was really good. I didn't put on any highlighter. Can you guys see like the radiance in this blush? Beautiful. Very pigmented, nice and blendable, has a bit of radiance. I like the formula. I like it. I like it, Bobbi Brown. Lip tint, pass. This was an absolute waste of my money. This was like a colored chapstick. So no. Lashes, thoroughly enjoying, super easy to apply. I'm still a beginner with lashes, and so it usually takes me like a really long time to apply them. And I actually think I did this one faster than I've done a lot of other ones. I'm getting quicker, but I'm still like the biggest novice when it comes to false eyelashes. So these ones were actually really good for someone who's a novice. I feel like I did pretty well. I didn't even mind the duo lash glue that came. The other duo lash glue that I've tried has been in like the squeezy tube. It was freaking terrible. I literally threw them away. They're not even worth giving to other people. But I think that this one is really good. That was everything. I sit back when I do these testing new makeups and I start to think to myself, like, what's gonna actually go into my everyday rotation? Like, what am I gonna love? And aside from the two things that I told you were the lip products, I think that I love everything that I tried. This is the kind of look that I would rock. Like, this is it. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not a current subscriber, I hope you consider subscribing to my channel. I would love for you to stick around. I love doing this. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I hope you are too. And until next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Bye.